Okay, all right, then let's start. What we are going to do today is we'll be discussing certain numericals on paging. So the idea of discussing these numericals is you will better understand paging. So even in case something was not clear from the last lecture, or if you found paging to be very complicated, these numericals will make it easier for you. We'll start with some very basic questions. So let's say you are given a main memory which is only 16 byte in size. So a very, very small main memory which doesn't exist in practical life. Okay. The question which I'm asking you here is, can you tell me how many locations will be there in this memory? So it is you who are going to solve most of these questions. It's all just basic mathematics, addition, division. So you can assume that the word size of your memory is 1 byte. Right. So can you tell me how many locations will be there in this memory? 16, right? Straightforward. So if you look at this memory, it will look something like this. So the one which you see at right hand side. And now we have to address each location of this memory. So it's a 16 byte memory having 16 locations. So addresses will go from 0 to 15 as you see in this figure. So starting from 0000, they go up to 1111. Okay. I hope there is no doubt till now. Right. Okay, so this is how we address memory. Now let's ask an important question. So the question is, if I give you a memory and I tell you its size, can you tell me how many bits will be there in the address? So you have to address different locations in this memory. So how many bits do you need? In this case, it's pretty clear, right? Our addresses, they go from 0 to 15. 15 is 1111 in binary. So we need 4 bits to address the memory. So in general, this table shows you how it happens. So let's talk in a reverse way. So assume that I give you 1 bit address. So with 1 bit address, how many locations can you address? How big memory can you have? 2 bytes, right? So I have two addresses, 0 and 1. So one for this, one for 0, one for 1. So similarly here, if I give you 2 bits in the address, how big memory can we have? 4 bytes. So assuming again that the word size is 1 byte, each location is 1 byte. So with 2 bits, we can have 4 locations. So it's always increasing in the power of 2. So if I have 3 bytes, then we can have, 3 bits in the address, then we can have an 8 byte memory, so on and so forth. Okay. Any doubt till here? Anyone? I think it's pretty straightforward, right? Okay. Can you now tell me this? So let's say I tell you that the memory which I have is of X bytes, and again we are assuming that each word is of 1 byte. How many bits do you need to address this memory? Log base 2, right? As we see here. So if you have 2 locations, we needed 1 bit. If we have 4 locations, we need 2 bits. If we have 8 locations, we need 3 bits, so on and so forth. So I'm asking you the reverse question. So in case we have, let's say 16 bytes of memory, then we need 4 bits to address this memory. Similarly, if you have 2 raised to the power k bytes of memory, we need k bits to address this memory. So if you look at the left hand side, it's nothing but log base 2 of the right hand side. Okay, now what if, let us say, the memory size, it is 15 bytes. So log base 2 of 15, it will be in decimals. Ceiling, right? We'll take the ceiling. Okay, so this becomes ceiling of log 2x, right? So the idea there is, let us say, if I have 8 bytes of memory, we need 3 bits. If we have 16 bytes of memory, we need 4 bits. But let's say I have 10 bytes of memory, then still you will require 4 bits memory because you cannot do it with 3 bits. So that's why you see a ceiling here. Okay. Now, coming to paging now. So the idea of paging was you divide your main memory into frames and all the frames are of equal size. So let's talk about that. Here you see the various memory addresses from 0 to 15. So let us say I tell you that the frame size is 2. Right. So how the frames will look in this memory? This is, can I say this is frame number 0? So everything will be starting it from 0, right? And everything will be expressing in binary as much as possible. Look at this second frame. So each frame is 2 bytes memory. So this is your frame number 1, so on and so forth. This is your frame number 2. So let's write it as 1, 0. This is frame number 3, 1, 1. Frame number 4, so on and so forth. Right? Every frame is of 2 bytes. What is offset? So whenever I give you any memory location, can you tell me which frame is it in and what is the particular location inside that frame where that memory address is? So let me talk about this letter K here. Can you tell me what is the frame number of K and what is the offset? K is here, right? Okay, frame number will be K divided by the frame size, right? So the frame size is 2. So the location at which K is there divided by 2, right? K is sitting at 1001. Convert it in decimal, what it is? 9, right? 9 by 2, which is what? 4, right? So you get this 4 there, 100. Okay, that is the frame number of K. What is the offset? So now I come to the frame number. Here is the where the frame 4 starts. So inside the frame 4, what is the offset of K? 1, right? J is 0, K is 1. So the offset is 1. Now notice one thing here. When you divide this particular memory in frames, so currently my frame size is 2 bytes. So look at this last bit of the address. It is 0, 1 here. Again it is 0, 1. Again it is 0, 1. Right? For each frame it is toggling 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So can I say that this last bit it actually tells you the offset? Right? So last bit is offset here. Okay. If I want to figure out what is the frame number, do you see that first 3 bits tell you the frame number? Right? So for the first frame, all these first 3 bits are 0. For the second frame, they are 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. They are changing according to this. So if my frame size is 2 bytes, then we saw that the last bit is the offset and the remaining 3 bits, they are the frame number, right? Okay. Let's just rub this all. Take frame size of 4. Let's say the frame size is now 4 bytes, right? So this thing is in your first frame. This is your second frame. This is your third frame and the remaining is your last frame, right? Now where is the offset and where is the frame number? So look at this 0, 0, last 2 bits 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. That is nothing but offset. So now last 2 bits are telling you what the offset is. And look at the first 2 bits, they will tell you the frame number. So first 2 bits are 0 for first frame. For second frame it is 1. For third frame it is 1, 0. For fourth frame it is 1, 1. Right? So you should note this pattern here. Right? Similarly, if you take a frame size of, let us say, 8 bytes, right? So in 8 bytes, right? So above is your frame 1, below is your frame 2. Or let's say above is your frame 0, below is your frame 1. Now if you want to figure out what the offset is, last 3 bits. If you want to figure out what the frame number is, first bit, right? In general, we can say that if in your memory you have, so coming here, if your frame size, it is, let's say, 2 raised to the power k, right? What will happen? The last k bits, they will tell you the offset. So again, coming from the previous examples we have taken. So when k was 2, it was 2 raised to the power 1. So last 1 bit was your offset. When we took k equals to 2, page size was 4, last 2 bits were your offset, 2 raised to the power 2. So these k bits, they are going to tell you the offset, and the remaining bits, they are going to tell you the frame number. Another way to look at this is, if you want to look at it more mathematically, let's say your main memory is 2 raised to the power x bytes. So assuming everything in powers of 2 simplifies all these calculations. So let's say main memory is 2 raised to the power x bytes. Frame size is 2 raised to the power y bytes, right? And let's say I'm looking for how many bits should I use for addressing a particular frame. So how many frames will be there? Main memory is 2 to the power x bytes. The size of one frame is 2 to the power y bytes. How many frames will be there? Right? 2 to the power x by 2 to the power y, which is nothing but 2 to the power x minus y. Right? So this is the number of frames you have. And again, I have to address each frame. So there are 2 raised to the power x minus y frames. To address each frame, how many bits you will need? X minus y. Right? So this is x minus y bits, and remaining is your y bits. So you can directly see it from here. So whatever is your frame size, if you express it in powers of 2, so whatever power of 2 you get, that tells you the offset. And the remaining bits, they tell you the frame number. Okay. So this is what we do with memory in paging. Now, let us see what do we do with the process. So with the process, we do the exactly same thing. So again, we'll divide a process into fixed size chunks. The size will be the same. So if you are dividing your main memory in frame size of, let's say, 4 bytes, you'll also divide your process in the frame size of 4 bytes. Right? And exactly the same calculation, you can do it at the process end. So look at this here. Right. So let's say on the right hand side you have the memory, which is what, your 16 byte, and let's say we have a process which is only 8 bytes. So do not get confused by this content here, right? We have nothing to do with this content as of now. So just ignore this all. It could be any content, any 1 byte content which could be located in each of these locations. Okay. We have a memory of 16 bytes. We have a process of 8 bytes, right? And let us say we are taking our frame size or page size to be 4 bytes. Now can you comment on? So for memory we have already done. How many bits do we need to address the memory? I have a 16 byte memory. How many bits do we need to address it? 4, right? So this entire thing, this is 4. Okay. What about offset? So your frame size is 4 bytes, right? 2 to the power 2, right? So this offset is 2 and frame number is remaining 2. Okay. Can you tell me what about the virtual address? So this is a physical address. This we are using to address the physical memory. Now I have to have a way to address the virtual memory also. The address is for this particular process. Right? So how many bits will be there if I want to address any particular location inside this process? The process is 8 bytes. How many bits will you need? 3, right? So this entire is 3. If you see here, offset will remain the same, right? Because your frame size, it is equal to page size. It is 2 to the power 2 in both the cases. So if it is 2 bytes in, 2 bits in case of memory, so for a process also it will be 2 bits. So this one is 2 and page number, you can represent it as 1 bit. So you can also see it like, so if you look at this, I have 8 pages, my page size is 4 bytes, so I'm having nothing but 2 pages here. For addressing 2 pages, I need 1 bit. Any doubts here? So this should be really clear. Okay, so we have now divided memory into certain frames. We have now divided process into certain pages. What we are going to do next? So consider this. forget these arrows as of now. Assume that this is a process which I want to load in the memory, and this is my main memory. And let's say the process has 2 pages. So assuming each page and each frame is 4 bytes. Similarly, your memory, it will have 4 frames in this particular case. Now you should see why contiguous memory allocation fails here if we do not do paging. So assume that all this part of memory is occupied by some other processes. So if I want to place this process in the memory, in this particular case, it's not possible if I don't use paging. If you want to make this process sit all at one particular place in the memory, it's not possible. We do not have a contiguous space of 8 bytes. So that's why what we will do, we have divided this process into 2 pages. Memory is in 4 different frames, and then you can allocate any page to any frame. So in this particular case, let us say this particular page, it goes here, and this particular page, it goes here, as shown to you by arrows. Now you should have some way to keep track of this, where a particular page is going. Right? That is done with the help of page table. So what is the information we need to keep here? So I just need to see for each page in the process where it is sitting in the main memory. In this particular case, I have to see where is page number 0 going to sit, where is page number 1 going to sit. Okay, where is page number 0 going? Page number 0 is going here, right? So what is the frame number? So this is my frame, right? So what is the frame number here? Assuming that you have a page size or frame size of 4. 1, 1, right? First 2 bits. So a 1, 1 goes here, right? What about this particular page here? It is going in this frame, which is 0, 0. Right? Okay. Based on this, can you comment what will be the, okay, let's do a translation first, then we'll think about what will be the size of this page table. So in this particular case, this is the page table. You need 2 entries in the page table. What decides the number of entries in the page table? The number of pages, right? So let's write down number of entries in your page table is nothing but the number of pages, right? Okay. And what is the size of each entry? How many bits is each entry? In this particular case, it is 2. Why is it 2? What is this 2 signifying here? Okay. Number of bits which you are using to address a frame. So if you look at that physical address in your memory, so the number of bits which you are using to address a particular frame. So let's say your main memory was 2 raised to the power x, your frame size is 2 raised to the power y, then we were using x minus y to address a particular frame. So this tells me this number of bits here, right? Or the size of each location in your page table. So the size of your page table now becomes number of pages which you have, and for each page in the physical address, the number of frame bits in each physical address. Okay. Now look at this. Again, ignore all these contents here. Okay. Let's say this is the scenario which is given to you. The page size or the frame size, which are always going to be equal, is 4 bytes. Right? So 4 bytes here, and again, main memory is divided into the frames of 4 bytes each. This is the page table which is given to you. Can you tell me the physical address of 101? How will we compute it? So the location 101 is somewhere here in the virtual memory, and this page table is given to us. So this is what the CPU will see, right? The logical addresses and the page table Based on that virtual or logical address and the page table, it will compute the actual physical address where the page will lie in the memory. So look at this 101, and let's say we want to compute the physical address for this. How will we do that? With the help of this page table. It is pretty straightforward. So one thing which we should notice, offset will always remain the same. Offset is not going to change. Right? So if you are look at this location which has this number here, if it is at location 1, the offset is 1 in this particular page, in the corresponding frame in the main memory, offset will remain the same. So we have to do nothing with the offset. We have to care only about the frame number, right? And if it is 4 bytes, we know that last 2 bits they tell me the offset. So this 0, 1 is going to remain the same. It will tell me the offset in the corresponding frame number, right? I'm only concerned about the frame number. So if you look at the page number, it is 1 here. 1 maps where? 1 maps to 0, 1 here, right? So you just replace this 1 by 0, 1, it becomes 0, 1, 0, 1. And this is your physical address, right? This tells you frame number 1, offset 1. So in this particular case, where is your frame number 1? So this is your frame 0. This is the place where your frame 1 starts. So this is the location at which this element will sit in your physical memory. Okay, let us solve some more numericals. It will make things clear. Right? So this is paging. We are done with paging. Okay. So let's start with some simple numericals here. Can you solve this? I'll give you some time. So you are given, you have to compute the size of memory. Your address, it has 22 bits, and note that your memory is now 2 byte addressable. So first compute it for 1 byte addressable. So assume that one word in the memory or one location in the memory, it has 1 byte content. Then what will be the size of your memory? How will it change if you make it 2 byte addressable? That will be the next question which we will address. Those who are online, you can type in the chat window. For 1 byte addressable, 2 power 23. Okay. Any other answers? Why 23? Like, why not 22? From where does that 1 come? Additional 1. Okay, so you're talking about 2 byte addressable. Let's discuss about 1 byte addressable first, then we'll jump to 2 byte addressable. 2 by 22, right? See, what is happening? Your address, it has 22 bits. So with 22 bits, how many locations can you address? With 1 bit, you can address 2 locations, 0 and 1. With 2 bits, you can address 4 locations, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So with 22 bits, you can address 2 to the power 22 locations. So these many locations you have in the memory, each location consists of 1 byte data. So what is the size of the total memory? 2 to the power 22 into 1 byte, right? Which becomes 2 to the power 22 bytes. Or I can, to make it simpler, I can write it as 4 megabytes, right? So it's what? 4 into 2 to the power 20. 2 to the power 10 is kilobyte, 2 to the power 20 is megabyte, 2 to the power 30 is gigabyte, right? So it becomes 4 megabytes. Okay. What if it is 2 byte addressable? Into 2, right? So I again have 2 to the power 22 locations which I can address, but now each location, it has 2 byte data. So we'll just multiply it with 2, right? So now it will become 2 to the power 3 into 20, which is 8 megabytes. Any doubts here? Shall I move forward? Okay. So now memory size is given to you, which is 16 gigabyte. Each location in the memory consists of 4 bytes of content or 4 bytes of data. How many address bits do we need? So once you figure out how many locations are there in the memory, you can easily tell how many bits you need. You just have to do a log 2. So figure out how many locations are there, and log 2 of that will give you the address, the number of bits in the address. How much? 32 bits. Okay. So let's solve this. We have 16 GB memory, which is how many bytes? 16 into 2 to the power 30 bytes. You are given that each location, it consists of 4 byte data. So look at this, your total memory, it is 16 into 2 raised to the power 30 bytes. Now there are various locations in this memory, location 0, location 1, location 2, location 3, so on and so forth. Each location, it consists of 4 byte data. So how many locations will be there? This 16 into 2 to the power 30 divided by this 4 bytes here. Right? So if you look at number of locations, definitely it won't have any unit. So what will it come out to be? 4 into 2 raised to the power 30. These many locations you have, this is nothing but 2 raised to the power 32. To address 2 raised to the power 32 locations, how many bits do you need? 32. Okay. Moving next. So ignore this as of now. Let's say you are given a 256 byte physical memory and each page size is 16 byte. Assume the memory to be 1 byte addressable for this. 1 byte addressable memory. Can you tell me the number of bits? How many bits do you need for your physical address? How many bits will tell you the offset, and how many bits do you need for the frame number? So let's say this is offset. This is frame number. So notice that if you have a 16 byte page, you'll also be having a 16 byte frame, right? So how many bits will be there for each? 4. Okay. 16 byte page, right? Which is nothing but 2 raised to the power 4. So anyhow, for the offset, we get it directly that we are going to use 4 bits. So look at your page size, look at what is the power of 2, and that gives you the offset. For the entire memory, the memory is 256 byte, which is 2 raised to the power 8. So we need 8 bits for memory. We need 8 bits for offset. So for the frame number, we have the remaining 4 bits. I'm sorry, 4 bits for offset. Then for the remaining frame number, we have 4 bits. Okay. Looking at this, yes. 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 So total you have 256 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte, so on and so forth. So we have 256 bytes in the main memory. One page is 16 bytes. So from 0 to 15, right? These 16 bytes is one page. Next 16 bytes is another page. Okay. Now, for this particular question only, so can I just copy paste this? For this particular question only, let's say you are given the virtual address of 24. So there is a process which wants to occupy some space in the physical memory. Its virtual address is 24. Can you tell me its physical address? So let me write the same things here. So remember that in your physical address, we had 8 bytes, 4 bytes for your offset, and 4 bytes for your frame number. Now, given the virtual address of 24, how will you translate it into physical address? So which page will it be in, the virtual address of 24? Which page will it belong to? If you want to look at it logically also, see your virtual address is 24, your one page is 16 bytes. So first 16 bytes, they go to the first page. Next 16 bytes, they go to the second page, so on and so forth. So in which page will the address 24 be? First, right? 0th page, first page. So it will be in the first page, right? So you can directly see for the first page, we have the frame number, which is 1010. What all we have to do? So convert this 24 into binary. What will you get? 1 1. Is it this? Correct? Okay. So this is your virtual address. So even in this virtual address, we have discussed that the number of bits in the offset will be the same. We have 4 bits in the offset, right? So this is your offset. So this particular bit, it is at the 8th location starting from the starting of your particular page or frame, right? So this remains the same, and 1, as you can see from the page table, it maps to the frame number 1010. So what will be your physical address? 1010 1000. So this becomes your physical address. Okay. Let's just solve it here. Right. So you are given a 256 byte physical memory. Now your word size is 4 byte. Your page is 16 byte. This is the page table, and we have to figure out the physical address for virtual address 13. I'll give you some time. You can discuss with each other. That's like perfectly okay to come up with the answer. Also, please note that we have like roughly 10% of the weightage for quizzes. So I might take a surprise quiz anytime during any class without informing you in advance. So this will just help me know how much you are understanding. So out of your all quizzes, I won't consider all, I'll consider your best K performances. Okay, so can you tell me the number of locations in the main memory? Then let's say number of bits for your physical address. Then we need number of bits for your offset, right? If you could compute all these things, we have solved this question. So how many locations do we have in the main memory? Anyone? Solved. If there is any confusion anywhere, you want me to repeat something, just let me know. Paging is like one of the most interview centric questions. If you're attempting an interview, there's a good chance if you say that operating system is your subject, they'll definitely ask you a question on paging. Okay, so how many locations would have been there if memory was byte addressable? We have a 26 byte memory, right? Each word of this memory is 1 byte long. How many locations would be there? 256, right? 256 byte memory. Each location is 1 byte. 256 bytes. What if you make each location to be 4 bytes now? It will have 256 by 4 locations because now 4 bytes are one location in the memory. So number of locations become 256 by 4. How much is that? 64, is it? Okay. So these many locations you have. To address these many locations, how many bits do you need? 6 bits, right? Log 2 of 64. So we need 6 bits. Okay. Now your one page is 16 bytes. Think carefully here now. Do you need 4 bits? Do you need more or less? So look at this one page. It has some 16 bytes, right? That is the size of the page, which is 16 bytes. But please note that one location is 4 bytes, right? So you have to see how many locations are there. So look at this like this. This is your one page. One location is 4 byte, right? Your memory is byte addressable. So 4 byte, 4 byte, 4 byte. How many locations will be there? 16 by 4, right? There will be 4 locations. And how many bits do you need to address 4 locations? 2, right? So the offset here will be 2. Now I think we have solved it. We have pretty much solved it. So we need a virtual address for 13. What is 13? 1101, right? This is 13. Now last 2 bits are offset. We are not going to touch them. This is your page number. 11 maps to 111101, right? So this becomes your physical address. Okay, can you solve this one? So yes, here you can make an assumption. You can make an assumption that your physical address is also 32-bit. So for determining the size of a page table, what do you need? How many entries are there in the page table and what is the size of each entry? So I can say that size of your page table, it is number of entries you have in the page table into size of each entry. And if you remember how many entries we have, it is equal to the number of pages into what is the size of each entry? Number of frame bits in your physical address. For this question, you even do not need this actually. You are given that the page table entries are of size 4 bytes each, right? So even if you do not have this information, you can solve it. So you're already given that the size of each entry is 4 bytes. So all you have to figure out is how many pages are there. How many pages are there? 2 power 12. Let's see. So we have 32-bit logical address. So with 32-bit logical address, we can address 2 raised to the power 32 locations, right? And what else do we need? So we are given a 4 kilobyte page size, right? So these many locations you have. Whenever it is not given to you how many byte addressable the memory is, we are going to assume that it is 1 byte addressable. So since it has 2 raised to the power 32 locations, each location has 1 byte. So we have 2 raised to the power 32 bytes, right? The virtual address space which the process requires. Each page size is 4 kilobytes. How many pages do we have? 2 raised to the power 32 bytes divided by 4 kilobytes. 4 kilobytes is 4 into 2 raised to the power 10 bytes. Right? So this becomes 2 to the power 12, right? Becomes 2 to the power 20. So your number of pages is 2 raised to the power 20. Each entry is 4 bytes long. 2 raised to the power 20 is nothing but your megabyte, is mega, not megabyte. So in total it becomes 4 megabytes. Okay, let's move forward. So enough we have talked about paging. Now let's look at what problems can we face with paging. So that day we were talking about effective memory access time. Right? Assume that this is the scenario which is given to you. So your cache, it takes 10 nanoseconds to be addressed. Memory takes 60 nanoseconds to be addressed. And your hit ratio in cache is 90%. So 90% of the time you find a data in cache. Another 10% of time you have to go to main memory to fetch this data. You still look in the cache, but you don't find it. Then you go in the main memory and access this data. So how much is the effective memory access time? So assume that there is no paging. Let's say it's contiguous memory allocation. So no pages, no frames, direct address is given to you. Or you can obtain it simply with the help of CPU registers. So what is the effective memory access time? We are doing just one memory access. So we are finding our address right there in the instruction. Once you have the address, you just have to fetch the content. To fetch the content, first you go to cache. If you don't find it, you go to memory. How much time will it take? We have solved it last time, right? So 90% of the times you find your data in cache, plus remaining 10% of the times you go to the cache, you don't find it, then you go to the memory. So it becomes 70 for cache and memory, right? Which comes out to be 16 nanoseconds. In case we were not doing any kind of paging. Now, when we do paging, what will happen? So whenever you get an address, it is now a virtual address. We have to convert this virtual address to a physical address. In order to convert it, we required page table. Where is page table residing? In the memory. right? So you first go to the memory to look up what is the frame number, then you compute the actual physical address, and then you go to the memory or the cache to fetch the contents. So how much is the increase in time? So this 16 nanoseconds is when you are given the actual physical address. So once you know the actual physical address of a particular data, it takes you 16 nanoseconds to fetch it, right? But here we do not have the physical address, we have the virtual address. We are converting it to the physical address with the help of page table, which is in the memory. So I take additional 60 nanoseconds here. Right, I go to the memory, figure out what is the frame number, and then I look for the required data first in the cache and then in the memory, which takes 16 nanoseconds on an average. So it's directly an overhead of 60 nanoseconds. It becomes 76 nanoseconds, which is like a huge overhead. Yes, so that is the solution, right? If somehow, so this 60 nanoseconds we are incurring it because page table is kept in the main memory, which is slower than cache, right? So it will be a good idea if we keep the page table in cache, but then we have seen that the size of the page table can be very large, right? We will talk about it more. So we'll look at what is generally the size of the page table. Generally, it is very large. So you cannot put the entire page table in cache. Similar to how you cannot keep the entire main memory data in the cache. What can we do? We can keep a subset of that data in the cache. So you can take a subset of page table, all those pages which are frequently accessed, and you can keep them in the cache, right? And that is easy to do because of the same 90-10 rule, right? So 90% of the times you are accessing the same pages. There are certain pages which are frequently accessed. So you keep the frequently accessed, I'm very sorry, yes, 90% of the time you access 10% of the same data again and again, right? So you can keep the 10% of the data and you can make that sit in the cache, right? That particular thing, so when you take a portion of the page table, a small portion of the page table, and you make it reside in the cache, so that particular table, it is called translation look-aside buffer, TLB, it's just a jargon. So translation look-aside buffer, it's a small portion of your page table, right? So now whenever you have to look for a particular frame number corresponding to a page number, you won't run directly to the memory. You will first look in this TLB, which is sitting in the cache, right? Which will be quicker to look into. If you do not find it, then you go to the main memory. So assume that accessing the TLB also takes 10 nanoseconds. Assume that the hit ratio of TLB is also 90%. How much will be the effective memory access time now? So you have this TLB which is sitting in the cache, right? The access time of TLB is also 10 nanoseconds. So the access time of cache is 10 nanoseconds. Access time of TLB is also 10 nanoseconds. Whenever you look for a particular data, the hit ratio for your cache is 90%. Let's say for TLB also the hit ratio is 90%. So whenever you are looking for a particular page frame mapping, 90% of the times you find it in the TLB, right? So how much time on an average will it take now to access the memory? So look at the procedure, what you will do. The moment you get a virtual address, right? First of all, you will go to the TLB, right? 90% of the times you will find the corresponding frame number in the TLB. 10% of the time you won't find it. So 10% of the time you will have to fetch this frame number from the memory. Once you have done this, you get the frame number, you got the physical address. Once you got the physical address, right? Again, where will you look into first? Cache, right? So now you look into cache. 90% of the time you will find it in cache. Remaining 10% of the times you'll find it in main memory. If you look at it, your effective memory access time is now reduced to 16 plus 16, right? So first 16 for getting your frame number, next 16 for getting your data, right? Which is 32 nanoseconds. So from 76 nanoseconds, we brought it down to 32 nanoseconds. Okay. Write your attendance on a piece of paper. So this is how this entire process looks like. So this is your original process, CPU. So we have discussed this diagram before, right? It generates this logical address, which consists of your page number and the offset. We don't do anything with the offset. Offset remains the same. Corresponding to the page number, you go to the page table, you fetch the frame number, it gives you the physical memory address. Now, when you introduce a translation look-aside buffer, instead of directly going to the page table, once you know what is the page number, you first look in the TLB, right? If you find it in the TLB, it's TLB hit. Anyhow, you got the frame number. Otherwise, you go to the page table in the main memory. When there is a TLB miss, you can get the page and keep it here and you get your physical address. Now, what is the problem with this? There is a huge problem with this which we haven't talked about. So the introduction of TLB brings in a challenge. In the TLB, we keep a small portion of the page table, right? So look at this. So remember that each process has its own page table, right? Page table is not global. So process 1 will have its own page table. Its virtual address is mapped to the frames. Process 2 will have its own page table. What will you keep in the TLB? There are contexts which is happening in your system. So for some time process 1 is running with the help of its own page table, right? When a context switch happens, process 2 starts running. So look at it like this. Let us say process 1 is running and the pages which it is frequently accessing is, let us say, page number 0 and page number 1. Page number 0 is, let's say, mapped to frame number 3 and page number 1 is mapped to frame number 4. So this is for the process 0. Process 0 is running. These are the two entries in the page table which are being frequently accessed. You take these entries and you keep them in the TLB. Done, right? Now a context switch happens. Comes process 1. Process 1 has its page number 0 mapped to 13th frame number and page number 1 mapped to the 15th frame number, right? In the virtual address, you get a page number of 0. So you first go to the TLB. In TLB, corresponding to 0, the frame number which you have is actually 3, which belongs to the process 0, which was running before. So we need to take care of it. So generally what we do, whenever a context switch happens, you flush the entire TLB and you fill it again. Because TLB should have different content similar to the page table for different processes. So you can flush it, or what people generally do is, with TLB here, they have one additional bit which is called the valid invalid bit. So once you have a context switch, you can just make all these bits invalid, which means that all these entries of TLB, they will no longer be correct for the new process which is coming. And now when this new process, it accesses certain pages or frames, it can start filling the TLB with its own data. Okay, I'll stop here. If you have any queries, I can take.